everyone, Laura Harris here, Realtor with Fathom Realty, and we have something special for you today. So bringing you some more education, we're going to be talking about insurance. So we all know that honesty is the best policy, but what is the best policy when it comes to your homeowners insurance? So we're going to be answering some frequently asked questions, debunking some myths, and giving you some information that could be helpful to you and where to find more information if you're interested. So I'm here with Nance, and he's going to introduce himself and just tell us a little bit about him, and then we'll get started on some questions.
Hello everyone, my name is Nance with Harris-REALTOR. I am a homeowners property and casualty insurance agent in the Raleigh, North Carolina, Wake Forest area. I have been in this area all of my life and been in the insurance industry for roughly 11 years. And I look forward to debunking some of these myths.
Awesome. So Nick is here local in Wake Forest area with me as well. So it's great to have somebody local when it comes to things like this, understanding the market, understanding the conditions, things like that. So another great local partner to have. So the first question we have is, what exactly is homeowners insurance and who needs it?
Homeowners insurance is a property coverage for any of your homes, condominiums, townhouses, and or even renters clients that just need coverage for their contents and their personal property. Who needs it? Everyone needs it. Anyone that is a homeowner, anyone that is a renter, anyone that is a condo owner, or anyone that owns a townhome should have homeowners insurance to protect their investment. Talking a little bit about the ins and outs of homeowners insurance, there are a number of different coverages that cover your home. You have coverage A, which is your property coverage. This is what covers your actual home itself. What we want to make sure we focus on here is having the right amount of insurance on a home. We take in account a number of different things for the homeowner's insurance to make sure that we have it calculated to where we have enough coverage on the home. This is what's called your coverage A. You also have coverage B. This is your other structures protection. Other structures is an automatic percentage of your coverage A amount. So what we're looking at here is typically 10% of your coverage A. This is an automatic coverage, so whether you have other structures on the property or not, you have coverage up to that amount to add a shed, a fence, or anything that would be detached from the home.
So that would be covering Cheryl's SheShed.
That's right. Cheryl's SheShed that's missing would be covered under coverage B of the structures coverage.
Got it.
The third coverage we would talk about within the homeowner's protection is your coverage C, personal property protection. This is for all of your belongings. If you could take that house and flip it upside down, anything that would fall out would be your personal property. This is covering your furniture, your appliances. This is covering your electronics, your clothes, your food. Anything that is in that house that is not permanently attached is going to be your personal property protection. Now, there are limits on certain items such as guns, jewelry, silverware, or fine art, but those are items that we can actually schedule coverage for to make sure they're insured properly and we have enough coverage in there.
Okay.
The fourth coverage we talk about is loss of use coverage. This is coverage D. If you're displaced from your home, if you have had a loss that has made you not able to live in your home, loss of use coverage will take care of putting you into a temporary accommodation. If it's a small claim and you aren't able to use your kitchen, we want you to be able to cook or be able to go out somewhere. So we're going to put you in a temporary apartment or a temporary hotel for a small, short time period. If you are displaced for a long amount of time, we may rent a house for you for a 6-month or a year basis, however long it takes to rebuild your home back to the way it was before. So loss of use coverage, coverage D, will take care of that. Liability protection is the last thing we'll talk about. That's your coverage E. This is what I like to talk to my clients about, that we call sue protection. In today's day and world, being sued is just like walking down the street. We want to make sure that we have protection for you in that avenue. Liability protection can cover a number of different avenues. You have a dog, your dog bites your neighbor decides to sue you. Your homeowner's liability protection is what we would use to protect you. Typically that we start a house at $300,000 is the typical coverage, but we have recommendations that we would recommend up to $1 million worth of coverage in today's day and time.
Okay, that's great information. So as far as the cost of the insurance, I'm sure it varies with which type you're selecting and the amount of coverage, but just kind of in general, what is the cost associated with it, and can you bundle it with other insurance that you already have?
Sure, absolutely. Homeowners insurance typical costs in our area is somewhere between $400 and $1,300 per year.
Okay.
These are amounts that are typically paid through your escrow account and paid at your closing on your behalf and included in part of your mortgage payment to your mortgage company. The amount of insurance is determined by a number of factors: the age of the home, the type of construction, the zip code, the deductible that you would like, and a number of different factors that just goes into that. How far away you are from a fire hydrant and or fire station. These are all very important factors that determine on how much your homeowner's insurance is. As far as bundling, the majority of the time bundling is the most cost-effective way to handle your insurance. Older home, bad credit, things like that, they can affect whether you get that discount or not.
Okay.
So bundling always isn't the best option, but we look at that on a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
90% of the time, bundling is the best way to handle all of your insurance.
Okay. So when I'm thinking about how much coverage I need, especially when it comes to personal property, you talked a little bit about liability, but how do I know how much coverage I need?
So I try to tell my clients not to worry about how much coverage they need. Let me do that.
Okay.
When we do that, we run it through a cost estimator. We have some very advanced software that determines how much coverage we need to put on that house. We determine that by a number of different things: location, zip code, the type of classification of the house, whether it's a multi-million-dollar house or a starter home, the type of construction, what it's made out of, brick, is it brick veneer, is it a framed house? There's a number of different factors that go into the actual cost estimation of the home. So we use that cost estimator to determine the value of that home and how much replacement cost we should have on that home.
Okay. And last but not least, I want to talk a little bit about the F word.
Oh.
So flood insurance.
Oh.
We all know with recent events that's been a big one. So who needs flood insurance? Who can it benefit the most? And kind of how does that work?
Yes, flood insurance has been a hot topic right now. I get a lot of questions about flood insurance. I get a lot of requests from homeowners and mortgage lenders as of recently about flood insurance because of the way things have been happening in our area and across the nation recently. Not every house needs flood insurance, but most houses it's worth looking into. Mm-hmm. The saturation of the soils and the crazy effects that we've had because of climate changes recently has caused more flooding to be more prevalent in the area. Something I recommend is we just take a look at it. You can typically look at it yourself through FEMA's Flood Map Service Center, or you can ask an agent like myself to do that for you and determine whether you're in a high-risk area or not. High-risk areas are not as common in this area, but there are a number of them, such as Crabtree Creek, and certain areas like that seem to flood over and over. Yeah. So we look at each house on a case-by-case basis. There are certain areas that are so high in elevation that we do not need to worry about flood insurance. It would take something ridiculous for it to ever flood.
Okay.
But there's plenty of areas that we need to focus on just having that peace of mind and knowing that we have coverage in the right areas. There's a lot of misconception about flood insurance cost. Mm-hmm. Flood insurance cost does not have to be high. It is higher in high flood areas, obviously, but most of them run fairly in line with what a homeowner's insurance policy would cost.
Okay. Yeah, definitely a good question to ask. I think I'd rather be safe than sorry when it comes to flooding.
Absolutely.
Because we've all seen the stories and we see what goes on, and it's just devastating, losing personal belongings, personal property, and not having the proper flood insurance. So definitely something to consider if you already own a home or if you're planning to own a home is the flood insurance coverage. So Nick, thank you so much for being with us today.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it. Tons of knowledge. If you have any further questions, feel free to drop those in the comments or reach out to one of us. We're going to leave our contact information up in the description as well for you to directly reach out to us. We are in the Wake Forest, North Raleigh, Rollsville, Youngsville area, so we are local and we are the experts. This is another one of those things that you don't want to Google this, okay? You're going to get a lot of different answers, a lot of inaccuracies, and it's one of those things that is region specific, it's local. So if you're not talking to someone that's working in your area, you're not going to get the most accurate information. So please reach out to us if you have any further questions. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope you have a great day.